Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yolanda Fuentes, and I'm the director of the class program with the ARC of San Antonio.
My name is Nora Perez. I'm with AACOG, and I am the Waiver Services Manager.
What we're going to do this afternoon is kind of give you information on the class program and also HCS. And I want you to start first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. With class is one of the waiver programs, so there are about 5 different waiver programs. And under the class program, individuals are able to receive different types of supports that will enable them to live in the community where they can live independently or even live with a family member, a friend, but live with someone in the community. And they do have to have a condition that can qualify them for class. There are over 200 related conditions that can qualify someone for the class program. Autism, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injury, and over 200 others. They have to have a diagnosis, but they also have to have a need for assistance in the home, whether it's assistance with grocery shopping, assistance with meal preparation, and so forth, and class will provide supports that will assist that individual. Some of the services that are offered through the class program would be, again, personal assistance services. They will also offer respite services. There's minor home modifications. There's a 10,000 lifetime limit on minor home modifications. There are also adaptive aids, and there's a 10,000 annual limit on adaptive aids. And a component of adaptive aids would be dental services. So individuals that require dental services, they can utilize the class program for that particular services. There are also what's called specialized therapies, so aquatic therapy, recreational, therapeutic horseback riding, hippotherapy, music therapy, and some of the specialized therapies that are offered through the class program. And through the class program, what individuals do is that they work with 2 agencies. There's a case management agency and there's a direct service agency. The case management agency will assist with most of the paperwork that's involved in a request for a service. And the direct service agency will be what I call the deliverer of services. So they're going to be the ones that are able to hire or contract with the individuals that are provide that particular service. So class, again, it's a wonderful program that offers a number of services that enable individuals to live as independently as possible in our community.
Okay. Almost like the class program, HCS, Home Community-Based Services, they have the residential piece, which is group home and host home. And they do have different services that they can utilize, which I heard Ms. Yolanda talk about adaptive aids, dental being in the adaptive aids, I believe, right? Well, dental with the HCS program, the waiver program, it's separate, and it can be up to $2,000 and cover that fee for any individual that's 22 and above. And then they have minor home mods, which same as class, but it's a lifetime also, but up to $7,500 for that consumer's lifetime. And then the main focus is to keep them in the home setting, if at all possible, or on the community, help them be more independent. And we don't have the specialized services as class, but we do have where we can link them to other services that are covered under Medicaid as well.
When under the class program, when someone becomes eligible, and fortunately currently with both HCS, I believe, and class, there's a 15+ year waiting for services for this program. But I always explain to families, it's never too early or never too late to really place your loved one's name or yourself on the interest list. But once you are fortunate enough to have either qualify for HCS or the class program, under the class program, what will happen is the state, the Health and Human Services Commission will notify the individual that their name has come up on the interest list. It's almost like they won the lottery. And so they're going to be asking them to select a direct services agency or a case management agency. And once they make that selection, they forward that to the state. The state then notifies the providers that they've been selected by this individual. And so the case management agency will basically go out and meet with the individual and do what's called a pre-enrollment assessment. See what, again, whether they qualify for the class, do they have the diagnosis that qualifies someone for the class program? What are the needs that individual has? Do they have Medicaid? Now for both HCS and class, the individual has to qualify for Medicaid. However, if the individual doesn't qualify for Medicaid, that's okay in the beginning. They can be on the interest list for class and not need to be qualified for Medicaid. However, once their name is released and they don't have Medicaid, then the case management agency will assist them to see if they qualify for SSI, or if they don't, then maybe Medicaid, the MEPD, Medicaid for the elderly and people with disabilities. So case management agency will assist them with all of that. Then the direct service agency will send out a nurse to actually do the nursing assessment to see what the condition is of the individual, the medical condition, and then send all that paperwork into the state and notify us whether the individual does qualify for the class program. 99% of individuals do, and that's why I say it's never too late, never too early. You don't know whether your diagnosis or your loved one's diagnosis qualifying for the class program, but still place them on the interest list.
And with AACOG, we do have the interest list, which is followed up every year with our intake department. And while they're on that waiting list, which is, as she mentioned, about 15 years long, we do have some other slots that are available through diversions that come in through either the medical needs, through CPS, diversions. There's different areas that can be looked at, but usually intake is the one that handles that with AACOG, and they will follow up and then work it through either also diversion slots of individuals that are in state supported living centers that want to come out of the state supported living center and are eligible to come out and meet their needs to be more independent in the community. Those are ways that also get into the HCS program, and they're usually monitored also for a year while they transitioned out of the state supported living center, and they and then the whole time a service coordinator follows them through, case manager so to speak, and link them to whatever services they need that again help them become more independent.
There's also another component through the class program, I'm guessing that with HCS also. It's a consumer-directed services, and that option, it gives the individual or their legal authorized representative the option to be able to direct their services. For example, to be able to hire individuals that can help them through personal assistance service to help the individual in the home. There are other specialized services like nursing services that may also be utilized through the CDS option. Again, it's either the individual or the legal authorized representative that may be able to do that, direct their own services. So that's another option. Also, when an individual turns 18 years of age and the parent would like to be a provider, assist them with probably what they've already been doing as far as assisting the individual, they can do so also. And through the class program, they can be the individual's provider, and that's at 18 plus.
Same as Ms. Yolanda stating, HCS does have the CDS option. Again, it's services being directed either by the guardian or the individual themselves. Any services that HCS has to offer are also utilized under the CDS portion of that. It could be the personal assistance can be a family member that obviously does not live in the home, or a friend of theirs or someone that's qualified to meet those services for them, and that consists of helping them with transportation to and from their home or to their work, to the store, The rehabilitation part of it is showing them either how to cook in the home if that's what they desire. There is an assessment, and it all determines how many units, so to speak, that they could use during that week to help them either learn the skill needed to be more independent.
And class offers a similar service. It would also fall under what class calls habilitation. If the individual is not able to quite do that yet, again, personal assistance services will assist the individual, and hopefully we'll be able to get to that. That's a goal, and be able to do that. If anyone, again, is interested in placing their loved ones on the interest list, there is a number to call for the class program, and it sits at the state level through the Health and Human Services Commission, and that number is 1-877-438-5658. At that time, you don't need to know whether your loved one can qualify for the class program. You just basically are interested in the program and you'd like to place them on the interest list. They'll ask certain questions about diagnosis. They'll even ask if he has Medicaid. Again, to be placed, to be on the interest list, they do not have to have Medicaid. So if they don't, then that's okay. But at least it's on the list. And then you wait. And you wait for a long time, 15 years or so, fortunately. But it's very important, definitely, to make sure that they're on the list, and you get those yearly information from the state whether you still want the individual to be on the waiting list and the interest list. If you don't get that, I always encourage families, you keep a log on when you call the state, who you spoke with, what date, what time, and then every year, if they don't call you, you call them. And if there's any change in address, telephone number, so let the state know. Call that number to make any changes.
And with with HCS, there at AACOG, we have a one-stop shop kind of deal where you come in and you meet with our intake department, and they will take your information, have you fill out the application, and then put you on the waiting list. Again, when that person's time comes up to be enrolled into HCS, they will do the any kind of assessments that are needed to enroll them into the program, and then again they will also follow up with them yearly until they get that slot. But while they're waiting, again they get that yearly call and letting them know what number they're on the list, and or if they came up open for a slot.
I don't know if anyone else has any questions out in the audience. If any questions.
Can you talk just a little bit about the difference between ICF and HCS?
ICF is a group home setting that is in the community, opposed to being in a state supported living center, which is the most restrictive setting. But HCS is home community based services, which is still in the home, but the funding is separate. They still provide almost the same services out in the community.
Okay, we have a question. Where can we find out if my child is already on the list?
For the class program, it'd be calling the number, the 1-877-438-5658. And just there's this particular number, again, it's with HHSC in Austin. So it also is a number for MDCP and DBMD, deaf-blind multiple disabilities. So when you speak with someone, let them know that you're inquiring about the class program, and they'll be able to let you know where your loved one is on the interest list.
And with HCS, again, calling the offices at AACOG, but the number there is 210-362-5200, and they'll direct them to the intake department.
Thank you very much again. I hope that is helpful information. And you have any questions, please feel free. You can call the ARC of San Antonio, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have for a class or even HCS that I know with AACOG.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.